Good evening, Cryptids fans. And we got a great show lined up for you tonight. Lackey's with us, Milkman, and we got distinguished author, BJ LaPier. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly.
Yep,
I did not ask her prior to the show, but I was getting ready to pull up your biography. It's nestled in this computer somewhere. I didn't put it in your folder. I'm sorry, but yeah, she's had a lot of stuff. Everything from UFOs to paranormal ghosts and Bigfoot, Dogman, and on and on and on. And I'm just gonna we promised her we would do some talking, but
yeah,
we're gonna, as usual,
a lot of talking.
We like to turn the show over.
Artist.
Yeah, I do artwork too.
I know because I bought like 4 pieces. There.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, and that's some stuff that she can elaborate on. And but BJ, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
I know you had the misfortune of meeting Jeffrey up at the last go round up in, I guess, Allegheny National Forest. Where were you at?
Yeah, it's a Tynesta Market Village. Tynesta, PA.
See, Tynesta, like I said, Jeff, not Nista. It's Tynesta.
Yeah. See, I wasn't even at the festival. I was in Tynesta. Okay.
Tynesta.
Damn it. Tynesta.
There you go.
But anyway.
And there's not a whole lot of stuff up there. In case anyone's wondering. There's
plenty of stuff up there. It's just lacks people, which is a good thing.
Festival in Marienville, but you know.
Somebody said they don't have sound in chat or from the show, but I have not seen anybody else say that. So
that
check
was
your volume, whoever that was.
Who was that? Oh, it was Mark Ledford.
Okay. Yeah, check your sound, your volume, or something. Make sure you're not muted through YouTube or Facebook. So anyway, how's Chad tonight?
Hey, man. Spectacular. Surviving the heat.
Yeah, the heat is ridiculous.
It wasn't as hot here as it was where you're at, but it was still like a 99 degree.
Mm-hmm.
Humidity was through the roof.
Yep.
No. That's the same here, too.
We were 111. We were 111 at 5 p.m. It's 111 heat index here.
And that's crazy. I saw the heat index map and who was going to be the hottest, and it was so crazy how it went from like you guys, Boston, down to North Carolina and South Carolina, and then it was just weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. Jeff, yeah. I know you've had some misfortune.
Yeah, the weather has not been friendly.
No.
Let's just say we've had some cattle losses and some chickens, and it's not been, of course, the cows were there were some ongoing health issues with a couple of them, and this 105 degree temperature is just kind of sealed the deal on that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Of course, we had a nasty storm come through here.
Livestock in 100 degree temperature.
Yeah. We lost some trees here on Sunday.
Yep.
It's like part of the fence, and
we had
we got cleanup to do. So.
Yeah, the weather's been crazy. That's for sure.
Yep. Okay. Well, we're still in time for our wonderful guest here tonight. So.
No, you're not.
We're all going to mute our mics and take a break, and we're going to let you. Just kidding.
I'm not muting my mic.
I'm so afraid we're going to make her do all the talking, but she really is going to do a lot of talking. Chat, questions, save them towards. Of course, we don't have a set time limit, but we're going to try to stay within an hour and a half to 2 hours tonight. Try not to go beyond that. She may have a lot. She has plenty on her repertoire to talk about. I can tell you that. So
that's just a little bit. That's just a tiny bit. That's a little bit.
We have more shows in the future. Don't worry. So we appreciate everybody being in chat. Just give us a little time to let her do some talking before we start throwing out a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Put them in all
caps. My mother's even in chat.
Also,
my mother is even in chat.
Okay. And
hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
What would she go under?
Bonnie Moore.
Okay, Bonnie Moore. Okay.
I apologize in advance if I do something.
Jeff, you don't have to apologize. People expect it out of you. So.
I'll say that's why you're the godfather, Jeff.
Well, according to Robbie, I'm a legend, so
Same thing.
No, you're the one that deemed yourself the legend. I said yes in your own mind. But anyway,
I was always referred to as the legend, but that was back in the party in the wood days.
okay. Anyway, again,
Sorry
wherever
about
you would like to start, BJ. Wherever you would like to start, BJ is fine. How about just tell us who you are, about your novel writing and stuff like that. Start there, and you can get into whatever part of the paranormal and cryptid world you'd like to start. So,
Oh, please.
I'll start
I love
getting
it
your
all.
other stuff ready to go here. So,
Well, everybody can see my name. I'm BJ LaPier, and I'm an author illustrator. I have 15 different books out currently, and I have 3 horror books out. And I write my horror under BJ Moore, my maiden name. I had to create a division between my horror and the other genres that I write in. So, and I'm a member of the Horror Writers Association, which is a really cool association, and it's hard to get into.
Cool.
And the book that got me into it was my Dogman book, Josiah Wolfe.
Yep, I've got a copy of it sitting right here.
Yep. Did you start it yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, come on.
See, my problem is I start reading. If I'm not like settled in where I can like concentrate on one thing, I'll either get sidetracked or I'll sit there and read till 4 a.m. and I realize I should probably go to sleep or something. But
I've heard about the people that started it and got into it and didn't quit.
yeah, I'm going to start reading it here soon after this heat wave's over and I'm not like half delirious trying to read it.
Now, BJ, I'll ask you a question I ask every author. Do you have an audio book?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm one of those
I
guys.
have the ebooks, but not audio.
Okay. No, that would be okay.
Yeah,
I don't have much of
I
an
don't know if I've
attention
done
span.
ebooks.
When it comes to reading, I don't have much of a attention span. So I start
Wow.
reading, and then I'm like fade, and then I like, oh, stop here. This will be a good point. And then when I go the next day, and I don't remember what I read, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. Anyways, please continue. Sorry.
I don't know where to go now.
So, what got you into all of this?
The paranormal or my writing or
Oh, okay. What was your first growing up as a child? I'm assuming. What was your first experience you had that got you interested in all of this?
well, as far as the paranormal goes, I've always had experiences, but the one that sticks out the most was my first day going to school in the school bus and going down around the corner where the graveyard, we had to go past the church, the family church, and the graveyard to go to school. And I seen my grandfather. I see a hand up.
I have a question.
Okay.
They had school buses up there?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
For 3 people, it was a short bus. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it took me like 45 minutes to get to school. I'm not
no
walking
doubt.
that.
No doubt. Yeah. The reason I'm being a smart ass, we had some good conversation backstage before we come out here live about the particular area she's in, where she lives and is from, is very sparsely populated. So I think you were saying your graduating classes average less than 50. I know
This year's was like 13 students.
13 students in the graduating class. So
Public school.
yes, that's cool. That's
Yep.
cool stuff.
so you don't have a football team, do you?
I think that, I don't know if they still have it or not, but there was the other side of the county has the school too. They're kind of like sister schools. And I
Okay.
think they might have joined at one point in time to have enough people for a team, but I don't know.
Okay.
That's an idea. That's a good idea, Wendell. Cam Buckner. Get a
Yeah.
hold of
that
your
would be-
books and read them. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Keep that in mind.
Okay, so you were going to school, you passed
Yep.
the church.
Past the church, there's a bend right there at the church, and up on the top of the it's like a big bank. On top of the bank, my deceased grandfather on my father's side was standing up there with his arms crossed, watching me go to school on the very first day of school.
Okay.
So,
Cool. That's cool.
yep. Yeah, I get that. And then I think it's probably tied with the memory of having a black shadow cat that lived in my bedroom for a while when I was little.
So real quick, in that area, even though there's not a lot of people, I'm using that area. I'm not going to give the town names out or nothing, but what is the consensus with people there when the word or the topic of Bigfoot or say Dogman or something comes up? I mean, are there more believers than non-believers, knowers than non-believers? Or would you say?
I maybe 50-50. I don't know for sure because I don't really tell anybody, not many people around here, what I experience and what I hear, what I see, all that. But they have the Bigfoot festivals around here and they draw in a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
that's what made me curious, if people up there do talk about the subjects much or they don't. Because I know here it's starting to get busier and busier and busier about it. And surprisingly, the people here are more accepting. And
the ones I've told, they have been more accepting of it, but you always get the naysayers and the ones that, they just downright refuse to believe and they think you're weird and strange. And, so.
Of course.
Just from what I noticed when we were up there that weekend, almost every place you walked into had Bigfoot stuff.
Bigfoot is getting to be a really, really big thing here.
Yeah, everywhere. And then, like when I met you at the village, the woman that's in the spot across from you, she was telling me that she's heard stuff out there while they've been horseback riding.
Yeah,
the knocks and all that stuff. She said, "You here for the festival?" And I said, "Yes." She's like, "Well, I could." She started telling me about this, and I was like, "It sounds like you had one on both sides."
Yeah. I've heard them too. Well, I sent Jerry my Bigfoot vocalizations and the footprints.
You had me listen to some of that while we were there. I remember.
Very cool.
It was fate, but I can hear it.
I have several files here, and I'm just gonna let her.
I kind of probably overdid it, but
No.
You can't overdo it. No way.
Never overdo it.
I said that's just a little bit of it,
Yeah, you just call out when you're ready you just let me know which one you want, and we'll get a screen share going here, and everybody can see and hear. So.
It's never too much.
So, BJ, what interest in all of the things that you've experienced? What are your biggest interests in? The paranormal, Bigfoot, Dogman?
Everything is just basically equal for me because I've experienced stuff my whole life. So everything's just kind of equal.
Okay. I would be probably like you if I had all of those different Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even with like my horror books that I write and like the Dogman book that Josiah Wolfe I showed you, that all begins as dreams. That's my normal dreams is everybody else's nightmares.
Yeah.
And I would have the dreams and then I'd get up and I'd write down the synopsis for it real quick, and I would go from there and I end up with over a 300-page book.
And didn't you do children's books before that?
Well, they're educational coloring books for all ages. And I do have a Bigfoot coloring book out too.
I'm just trying to figure out how we went from children's coloring books to horror books.
That's why I had to do my horror under the BJ Moore instead of BJ LaPier. Everything else, my religious series and my inspirational books are all under BJ LaPier also. Yeah. I kind of cross genres quite a bit.
Sounds like it.
That's okay. It keeps it exciting for you.
I was going to say, not a boring moment for sure.
Nope.
I was impressed when I was looking at the assortment of books there. I'm like, we've got everything here. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it just kind of changes whatever I happen to feel like working on. I got one going right now. It's going to be called A Dark Man, and it's kind of a cross between a Wendigo and human demon type character in there. But good always wins out in the end.
Okay, I'm gonna have to write your name down because I'm gonna definitely check those out. I'll try to read them.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Maybe I'll have my
start reading this.
I'll have my wife read them to me.
Well, my Dogman book, Josiah Wolfe, that has given people nightmares. So it's a graphic horror. It gets pretty graphic. So
sweet.
And that started out as a dream too.
Really?
Yeah, I had seen something outside of my fence one night, and then after I had seen that, then the Dogman dream came to me, and that's when I wrote it.
What did you see outside of the fence?
It was I have a 4-foot chain link fence around my yard. This was a really, really big, ghostly gray, long-haired. I don't know exactly. Wasn't really a coyote or, it was huge. The top of the ears was at the top of the 4-foot fence. And it had these real light gray, like you could see right through them type of eyes. And it just stood there and stared at me. And it knew I was looking at it, and it was staring at me. And then I walked up in the yard a little bit, clapping my hands to try to get it to leave because I wanted to let my dogs out. And it just casually walked back into the shadows, but I could still see the eyes. It's like the eyes were backlit. Just these bright
color?
eyes looking out of the shadows.
She may have said, but I didn't hear it. What color were
the eyes? Gray. Just a real bright, light gray.
That's horror movie creepy right there.
Yeah, that's
and it was after that my Dogman book came to be.
I've seen the pale yellows front and center. I mean, there's no doubting what they were. But to see red or gray, that would be crazy.
Pale yellow gives me signs of like maybe it's, I don't know. Gray just gives me death. Gray. It would be like seeing black eyes. It's just,
Yeah, it wasn't aggressive. It was just like very nonchalant, just standing there staring at me. And then it just leisurely walked back into the shadows and stood there. But I had some friends, it was a couple weeks before that. He was up here and he asked me if I had seen this really, really big, what he thought might have been a coyote, long hair on a coyote. And they were down, him and his brother and their wives were down sitting around a fire. And this animal started circling them on the edge of the woods. And, it's almost like it was stalking them. The girls got spooked. They went in, the guy stayed out. And then this thing kept stalking them just right inside the woods line. So they decided they're going to put that fire out and they're getting in too. And then he asked me later if I had seen anything. I told him, no, I didn't see anything. And then it was like 2 weeks after that I seen it. But it wasn't afraid of them either. So.
Wow.
We got strange things around here.
Yeah. I think there'd be a larger fence and some more pew-pews added to
razor wire, guard towers. Yeah.
So, see, that wasn't even something I sent you, Jerry.
What's that? I'm sorry.
So that wasn't even something I sent you.
Yeah. That's.
I told you there's more.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Well, I'm learning this stuff. There's always more. There's always more.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is my life, paranormal.
Now, as far as Bigfoot, have you ever actually seen one?
I haven't seen them. I had the footprints at the end of my driveway, which I had showed you. And then I heard the vocalizations also just recently, but I was also gifted from them a crystal that I had, basically when I had seen the prints, and I sent Jerry the prints, when I had seen the prints at the end of my driveway, I took pictures. I got the tape measure. I laid down a $10 bill, did all the measurements and everything of it.
Yeah.
And then I showed it to somebody I'd met at I didn't tell too many people about it, but I went to, it was a festival, and I don't know if you're familiar with Mike Femelent.
Yeah, he
Big
was
red eye.
I know who
Okay.
you're talking about.
Yep. And I showed it to him, and he said it was very typical of a juvenile Bigfoot footprint.
Yeah.
He said that was real.
He was at the Bigfoot show, but I didn't get to talk to him.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's very nice. He really is.
I've got that coming up for you in just a second. I'm getting
Okay.
it.
Yeah, and
I have 2 photos of it.
so after I had shown that to him, then I was looking for crystals to begin with.
Oh wow.
See, there's the one without anything next to it it was 8 inches long.
Yeah, I'll bring that up next.
And then I have another one that had a comparison with my foot, I think. It's either my foot or the tape measure. I can't remember which one I gave you.
Tape measure. I got the
Tape measure. Okay.
coming right up.
Okay. Yeah. There's actually 2 side by side, but this one was more in the mud puddle.
Yeah.
Than the other one was. So this one stood out more.
I think you showed me that one while I was.
Yeah.
That has got some big toes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see how big the big toe is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Good God. It looks better. I can see it better now than it was on the phone. Good Lord.
Yeah, I measured the toes and I measured across the foot and all that. And I didn't want to bombard you with pictures, But that's the print. And after I had shown it to Mike and talked to Mike about it and stuff, I went over, and at the festival, there was a booth there that had a Reiki master there. I'm buffering. I don't know about you guys.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. And
Sorry, I apologize. I don't know what's going on with this internet, but I'm about ready to set a bomb off in here.
What'd you say, BJ? What kind of master?
Reiki master. Yeah, I went to, there's a booth that had a Reiki master there and a psychic there. And I knew what I was looking for already. So I'm looking, and then she asked me if I knew that I had somebody attached to me. I'm like, I know, And she says, actually, you have 2 that are attached to you. And I'm like, I know. It's my father and his father. My grandfather that watched me the first day of school, he's attached to me, and my father is attached to me. So I don't tell psychics anything. They're supposed to know enough to tell me, So I'm looking for the crystals and stuff. And then Darren, the Reiki master, we've gotten to be friends. He came over, and I'm still looking, and a yellow jacket started buzzing around his head. This all leads into something else. The yellow jacket started buzzing around his head. And he started swinging at it. I told him, no, don't. So then I took my hand and I just, softly put it over his head, and I told it to come here. So it came over and it buzzed in front of me, and I told it can't be here. It has to leave. And it did 1 circle and left the tent. And the psychic said her spirit guides were telling her to pick up her tarot cards. So she picks them up, she starts folding them out, and then she folds them back again. And she said that they're telling her to just turn it over. She turns it over, and it's the wasp card. What? And and she said, that's your spirit animal. And I said, yeah, I know. The wasp is my spirit animal. And I had disturbed a nest of thousands of them accidentally, and they all started buzzing around me, all around me, really. And I walk with a cane. I cannot run. I couldn't get in the house, So I just put my hands out and said, what'll be, will be. And not one landed on me. They just buzzed around me. So I just stepped backwards, slowly walked over, opened up the door of the house, went on the breezeway, on the porch. And I had like half a dozen of them following me. So I went and opened up the door or the windows. left those ones out. I did not get stung. And I have a cousin that is a psychic, and she's the one that told me that that's my spirit animal. That's why I didn't get stung. So then back to the festival, Darren asked me if I knew that I had an old soul. And I told him that I did, because I know who I was. I know what her name was. I know what happened in her life. And so we just kind of chatted. And then, I walked away, and now we're getting back to the Bigfoot again.
Sweet.
So it was a little while after that I was talking to my friend on Facebook chat about the festival, and I was telling her that I was looking for the clear crystal quartz stone, and about Darren saying that I have an old soul. And it was the next morning that I went out to my little greenhouse, and on the outside edge of the greenhouse, I found a stone. I walked over and I picked it up. It was a crystal quartz old soul crystal quartz stone. I was gifted.
Oh wow! I have
Yeah,
those
And
pictures.
it totally, that's the, I sent you the picture of mine, and then one that I did the Google lens search on it. And that's how I found out it was the old soul crystal quartz. Yeah, that's the one I was gifted. That one there. It's decently sized, as you could say. Yeah.
Very beautiful.
But yeah, it really is.
Here's one for sale. You talking about?
Yeah. And that's where it says about it being the old soul crystal sparkly illustrial raw crystal quartz. Basically exactly what Darren had said about the old soul, and the fact I was looking for the crystal quartz.
Very cool.
So, and I figure they probably maybe gifted me that because I wasn't telling a lot of people and bringing people in here trying to find them.
I don't know why that's up there now, but okay. Where did that come from?
Are we doing news of the day?
I have
think
no
we
idea.
are. I think we are.
I think I'm getting ready to ship a computer back to somebody. But
Look
anyway.
who just snuck into the chat, Barry Browning.
Hey, Bray Browning, looky there. How's Barry?
BJ, are you
Are
into crystals and everything?
Who, me?
To a degree, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot about them, but to a degree, yeah, I am.
Okay.
I wear the crystal quartz and the black tourmaline, 24/7.
Okay.
I have I don't know if I can get it up here high enough or not. I have a cage that has both stones in it.
Okay. Very cool.
So, and that's for, it's basically a protection, combination.
I'm interested. My wife and I are both interested in the crystals. We're both just starting to get into it, kind of learn a little bit about it. But she wants to do a show. We have a podcast as well. But she wants to do a show on crystals, and it's something I don't know too much about, but I'm starting to learn. Sorry.
Yep. But that's how I ended up getting that. Yeah, the old soul crystal quartz stone.
Okay.
And then that was in, I think, 2023. And then it was just last summer. I actually wrote down notes. I found the footprint on June 17th of 2023. And then I got the gifted in 2023 also. And the Bigfoot vocalizations that I sent Jerry, that was on July 26th of 2024 when I got that. I took my little dog out to go to the bathroom, and while I was out there, I heard this real loud, whoop, and it was like really super loud, and it scared the bejeebies out of her. So she was my first priority. I got her in the house, and because she was having medical issues, and she wasn't supposed to be getting excited. So, yeah, so she was my first priority, and then as soon as I got her in here, then I went straight back out and got my phone out and started recording.
Okay,
And I got a lot of chatter,
one
from
file
that.
coming up here real quick.
Okay.
Here we go. You might turn your volume up, folks. This is one of two.
I think I turned it up.
I'm not even hearing anything.
Really?
No, I don't hear anything either.
Oh boy. You hear anything, Jeff?
No, I don't hear it.
I wonder why. I hear it just fine, but hold on a minute. I think I had this problem before. Yeah, it's up 100%. Doggone it. I may have to put it in a video file. I don't know. Anyway, sorry about that. I'll try to put it in a video file real quick to see if it'll work that way.
Okay. Yeah, and then I had sent Jerry it was a recording off of my friend Brent Thomas. He has a paranormal portal, and Sasquatch Chronicles had the Bigfoot vocalizations also that he was playing, and it sounds just like what mine sounds like.
Oh, wow.
So I sent that to Jerry for just a cross reference for him to listen to see how close they were.
Paranormal Portal. I haven't seen that show since the Carrie Arnold days, actually.
Oh,
So he's still doing regular shows.
Oh, yeah.
now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'd check it out.
yeah, he does the podcast and then he does the live shows. Friday, I'm not sure about Saturday, Sunday. I think 3 days a week he's on live.
Yeah, he even told everybody you were going to be on tonight with us, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned it and then he repeated it. Yeah. Yeah, Brent's a nice guy.
Yes. Just keep talking, guys. Pick a subject there. I got to get these uploaded. Hopefully they'll play when I bring it back over in a different way here.
I got one real quick before Chad. Other than that time you saw that dog headed whatever it was sticking its head over the fence, was there any other times you saw that?
Not that particular one. No, that was just a one-time deal. And it was up at the edge of, the edge of my yard. And we have floodlights that point out. I mean, they're not really strong floodlights, just enough you can see if there's something there, and it was just like really, really light gray and real long hair,
Wow.
That 4-foot fence, coyote isn't going to be able to put its head over that.
No, the ears were right at the top of the 4-foot fence.
No, it's that's pretty tall for a coyote.
We'll try this, see if we can hear it now. This is going to be your file.
Okay.
Let's try this.
There he is.
I'll play it again.
Yeah, you can hear the crickets in the background and stuff. And
I feel
I
like
can hear it. I can
coyote.
hear it. You play it again, then I'll go to the next audio file.
I can definitely hear something.
yeah,
For sure.
I could pick out 3 distinct separate voices when I was listening to it and recording it.
Now I'll get the other one loaded up here real quick and we'll listen.
Have you had any other, I guess, Dogman type things that you've seen or heard?
Just a remote view. That was
Oh, okay. Remote viewing. All right. All kinds of cool stuff.
All right, here's Brett's.
Yeah, Sasquatch Chronicles.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, when Brent played that, I was in chat. I'm like, hey, that sounds just like mine.
Oh yeah, you can hear that.
It sounds very, very, very. Yeah.
I got
So-
it.
One more time. Hold on, Jeff. One more time. Okay.
I got some audio I'll send her from DA and Robbie that they caught down by down by Robbie's place. Jerry knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's a very good one. Yep.
The howl.
Yep.
It was caught on a
Howl.
ring. Yeah, that howl.
Hell how maybe.
Well, whatever that thing was.
Whew.
It was caught on a Ring doorbell camera in South Carolina.
Actually, I have that.
You have it.
Oh, it might be on the other computer. Let me check. Let me check. Or you talk amongst yourself. I'll check.
Yeah, with my what I recorded, I have a pond here, so there was water sound in the background on there, and my friend Matt M from Planet 412, I sent that to him, and he took out the water sound on it and stuff.
Okay.
So that's what made mine a lot more clearer to hear.
I think DA's actually had Matt on his show before. I think so.
Yeah, Matt's been on a lot of shows.
And Matt's had some pretty crazy stuff happen to him, hasn't
Oh
he?
yeah. Yeah, his Dogman experience. I mean, that was horrible. Yeah, very scary.
Now, where does he live?
Youngstown, Ohio.
Oh,
Oh
Youngstown.
Yeah, it was in the steel mills that he had his experience.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I've heard a lot of Dogman characters, but I'm pretty sure I remember that one.
Oh yeah, his is hard to forget.
Didn't it chase him through a steel mill?
Yeah, him and 3 friends. Yeah,
Yeah,
in the building. Yeah,
and it was like an old abandoned steel mill, if I remember correctly.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all very lucky.
Any abandoned steel buildings in Youngstown, Ohio.
wow.
Yeah, he was 14 when that happened.
I found it. Just give me a second to get it downloaded in this computer, and we'll play it.
DJ, when the first time I heard this, it had people's animals, like their pets and stuff, going nuts. Didn't bother these old farm dogs at all.
They probably
But
heard it all.
People's cats and stuff. Well, that's what I'm thinking, because sometimes my dogs will get up and look across the road at the neighbor's woodlot, because down here, this section of the property, we don't have a lot of trees, but there's a little patch of woods across from me. And I can tell when the dogs are after something that they normally would chase, and via something they don't want to mess with, because they'll just sit here and stare out
Yeah.
the window.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do y'all think of that?
Yeah.
That's something.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, we want to thank D.A. Roberts and Robbie for that file. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard so many crazy sounds this year from all these shows. I don't want to hear one myself. I like listening to other people's.
Well, just be glad you're not hearing gibberish in a hammock like I have.
Yeah, I don't even want to hear that.
Yeah. Anyway, so I also see not to take you away from what you're currently talking about, some UFO activity you have experienced.
Yeah.
I'm going to start sharing those photos next, I think, and
Oh yes.
you can just start touching base on those. You actually have a video. I'm
I
going to say
didn't
the
send
video
the
for last.
latest one though.
Yeah, I'm going to say the video clip for last. You have more?
I have a really good one, but I didn't send that one to you yet. I kind of promised that one to somebody else first.
Absolutely, understand.
Yeah, Jeff's seen that one.
Yeah. I tell you, I've seen some crazy stuff just on people's cell phones. It's
It's just amazing to me, all the stuff that everybody's finally talking about. That's what's wild. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the comparison picture of two different ones that you're going to see.
Definitely.
Yeah, the one in the blue was August of last year, and the blue one was the daytime, and the darker one, that was a nighttime one back in December 1st of 2023.
Yeah, 12:22 a.m. exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, they look pretty close to, could be possibly the same style of, craft.
All right, let me go over here.
And there's some still shots too.
Blow that one up just a little bit.
Yeah, that's the one that was at night. And then that's what I was looking at up in the sky when I was taking a picture of it.
No flashing red or green lights.
Nope. It was just sitting
no.
there, just hovering.
That is awesome.
And then, I was watching it and it just, blinks out.
That is too cool.
Just left, like, boom, gone.
that is cool. Have you ever seen like stars that look like they're sitting still and then they move? I've seen one of those. That is a cool.
It is.
Okay, this one here, this was my daytime one. And I was actually trying to, I was trying to zoom in on the plane because I like to see what the capabilities of my phone are. And I'm looking at the plane, and then this other thing comes into view and it's sitting totally still. It's not moving a bit. And so I kind of look over my phone and look back at my phone, and that's when the small plane saw that sitting there, and it banks to the right hard. That's what you see there is a plane banking hard to the right. It was getting out of there. So after it started doing that, I turned my attention to the cigar shape, silverish white, craft that was up there.
So it's something if the plane's turning away from it, because that's close.
Yeah, because it was going straight towards it, and all of a sudden it just real quick just banked right. And the cigar-shaped one, it made no sound at all. If you hear sound in the video, that's the small plane yet that you can hear.
Yeah, we're going to do that video next here.
How big of a plane was that?
It's one of the smaller planes.
Yeah, it looked like maybe like something like a Cessna or something. It wasn't real big.
No, it wasn't a real big plane. But
let's see.
Yeah,
Is there sound on that video? I don't remember, BJ. I don't think there's any sound on that video, is there?
If there's any sound at all on it, it'll just be the sound of that small plane. So you don't have to worry about sound.
I'll just pull it up this way, just in case.
But when it seen that the plane saw it, that's when it started moving, and it's moving fast. It took me a little bit to get it in the center of my screen.
That thing's moving.
It was flying, yeah. That's why I had a hard time getting it. Yeah.
You can hear the plane in the background.
Well, that's definitely it's either a white jet at Mach speed, because that thing is really moving. Seriously.
You don't even see a chemtrail.
Contrail.
No, nothing. There was nothing. And it kept shimmering. As you can see, it was just like a shimmer.
That's wild, yeah.
But no sound at all. Yeah, and that was me moving, trying to keep it on my screen.
What time of the day was this?
Trying to remember. It was written on.
It's on the picture. I'll get it.
It was 7 something. It was 7 something in the evening.
So BJ, when you first saw that, it was setting still in the sky, and then
Sitting still, not moving at all. Period.
that's not. Yeah, that's definitely not a plane.
No,
Yep.
no.
Won't do that.
It didn't start moving until after the little plane started banking and it kind of realized it was seen. And then that's when it just took off.
So it's like 7:48 p.m.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
That's very good.
I've
Very
seen
good.
stuff sit still like that. I've watched stuff at night, like very similar to that, and then it just starts moving off. It'll sit.
Yeah,
I watched one that sat there for probably 10 minutes one time, right over the park.
Yeah.
I saw one that I thought was the third star in the Orion's belt, but I kept staring at it, and then it shot to the left faster than anything
Yep.
could fly.
Yeah.
I've seen one rise about 1,000 foot in elevation,
Quickly.
and then it just stopped.
Mm.
It just went from right here and went up and stopped.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I've got video of other ones that they'll just, I lean against the door frame so I don't move. And I'm taking my
Yeah.
videos. And, I'll just shoot. If they run off the screen, they run off the screen. But it at least shows I'm not moving,
Well,
So
that thing blinks so
I have them
fast.
go up, come down. They'll
Yeah.
go off to the side again. They'll come over. They'll go up, and they just go everywhere.
I think if I had blinked, I would have missed it. That's how fast it was.
Yeah.
By the way, Barbara Mora says we're taking a road trip to your house.
Wow. Hi, Barb.
So we're getting a bus. We're heading out.
Yeah. She's one of my friends.
Oh, I hope so.
She's one of my people.
I want to come back up and camp.
Light
Up
this
there.
up.
I want to go camping back up there where they
That's
have in your area, because I've heard some pretty.
Go to the Allegheny National Forest. Got your
Mhm.
Bigfoot, got your Dogman, got your UFOs.
Very, very active area.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. There went
Bye,
Jeff.
Oh, he'll be back.
Nah,
Yeah, that's
I thought you muted him.
no. No,
He's not to that point yet.
he hasn't
Oh,
learned
okay.
that yet. So.
Well, he threatened him earlier, so
You better count Brandon and I in that trip to see BJ, Mickey says.
So BJ, how many
Mickey
how
G.
many,
Yeah.
how many UFOs have
hi,
you
Mickey.
seen?
Oh, I've seen a lot. I've
Really?
got a lot of video. Yeah.
So when you
One
That's
of
cool.
DJ's,
There you go. That's one of mine.
Dogman.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's
That
my
is
driftwood
It's nice.
artwork. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Very nice.
I tucked it away in the luggage, and I was like, we cannot damage this thing on the way home. I'll set it over here somewhere.
Trying to find out where you can put it, huh?
Yeah.
That's where it's going to get damaged in this house.
But wait till the dog gets a hold of it.
I'll tell you, if that beagle gets a hold of it, we're gonna have a meeting.
No, don't say that.
Wow.
He finds himself getting reprimanded for tearing stuff up a lot. I don't know what his problem is.
Well,
Just
at least you
picking
can
after
say he
you.
took on a dog man and he won.
Look who's raising him.
Beagle won against the dog man.
But
So do you find yourself staring at the sky a lot? Maybe
Actually, no. The only time I really notice the UFOs is when I take my little dog out. I have a little Pomeranian, Cassie Joe, and when I take her out to go to the bathroom, that's when I see the UFOs. I don't go out and look on purpose. I just, take her out and they draw my attention to them.
I always thought there was something about Pomeranians, though, that maybe they attract aliens. I'm just kidding.
I had a Pomeranian cross.
we've had
And
everything.
he got himself into all sorts of situations.
It's still 90 degrees here. You believe that? Still 90 degrees. Feels like 99.
In my house, I can assure you of that.
It says it's
That's wonderful.
81 here still.
Well, you're higher in elevations. But still,
Yeah,
that's warm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
I'm
guys
like, I
got
think
a lot of wood.
1,700 feet up. above sea level here.
I just love the area you live in. That is beautiful up there.
It sure is.
Yeah, I like it.
Do you live on a lot of land or?
I'm on 4 acres right
Okay,
here. I'm
that's
like
good.
the 4th, possibly the 5th generation living on this land.
Okay.
Yeah,
Closest-
we built our own house and everything. And
What's your closest neighbor, if I may ask? I'm not trying to figure out where you live.
my mom, she's within shouting range.
Okay.
She's down through the woods and across the road, so we can yell back and forth.
Same way here.
All I see is trees, no matter which window I look out.
Yeah.
Has your mom seen anything or heard anything?
Yeah, she's seen some stuff too. And
Okay.
Yeah, it mostly runs on my father's side. The abilities and stuff, and
Okay.
I'm a sensitive. That's why I see a lot of stuff.
I've wondered that, and being on a lot of podcasts and talking to people, I wonder if I know some of the people we've talked to have been hit by lightning or lightning struck close to them. And I kind of wonder if that's opened up something for them. But I also wondered about the sensitives and being able to see things that other people can't see, or your electric energy, your currents, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it also makes you kind of like a magnet, though, where things automatically come to you.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons I wear the crystals that I do wear.
For protection. Gotcha.
Yeah. It guards against attachments and, keeping the bad guys away, like that. But,
Yeah. My wife was in a car accident years ago when she was 16, and she died for a bit, and she won't do anything really like what do you want to call it? Like have your fortune told or go to a seer or something like that, because she's afraid something will happen, that something might attach itself to her.
mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting to hear that, just in case.
Yeah.
Because when you've died, technically you've opened yourself up to a whole nother possible experience or realm.
Yeah, I was going to say, it kind of throws you into a different realm, and in a way it opens up the veil to you to a point.
Okay.
Yeah, you see things that you wouldn't normally have seen otherwise. And once you see it, you don't forget it.
No, she's had some experiences, not many at all, but some things that we've talked about on some shows that, shadow people and.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of those.
So,
yep. I actually seen a shadow person in Michael's craft store one day.
wow, okay.
Yeah, I was coming down the aisle. My mom was behind me. She didn't see it. I don't know how she just might not be able to see everything I see. But I was going to turn to the right, and then I decided, no, I'm going to go to the left because I forgot I wanted to look for something else. So I turned my cart, and as soon as I turned my cart, I ran right into a black shadow person, same height I am. We were like face to face, maybe about 12 to 18 inches away from each other. And I think I startled it as much as it startled me, because it was like, whoa, and then it's like, how if you tie a rope around someone, you just yank them back, how fast they get yanked back. That's what happened. It just went boom, right back. And as it was going backwards, it dissipated and it went into nothing. So I think I startled it as much as it startled me.
Wow. Do you think, and one of the things I've always asked with the shadow people, especially, and ghosts, when people talk about seeing ghosts.
Yeah, I see ghosts.
It's a different dimension than ours. And maybe in their dimension, they see us as a shadow person or a ghost.
I think it could be, because like I have 3 ghosts here that, well, not the wagon wheel, the ceiling fan video I sent you, Jerry.
Yep.
That's the light that my ghosts walk under, that are attached to the land itself. And they don't know I'm here any more than anything else. They're like in a loop, and I'll just see them walk through. But their energy is enough to, not the wagon wheel. It's the ceiling fan one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
I don't know, whatever that is. That's pretty wild too.
Yeah, that's my wagon wheel above the couch in my computer area where I sit all the time. But yeah, they blink the lights, different lights at different times, and it's just different days.
That's crazy.
But yeah, when they
get that out.
Just the energy, I think, from them going underneath the ceiling fan light. The light wasn't even turned on. It was not turned on a bit. It came on. It came on, and it's it's flickering and flashing. And that's a 45-watt light bulb in there. See, it's not turned on. And I thought it was going to blow the bulb. That's a 45-watt bulb.
Yeah, that's bright. That's way
That's
too
that
bright
is-
for 45 watt. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's about a 90 or 120 watt bulb now.
Yeah, but that's the light that they walk under when they're walking through my living room.
And you still live there.
Oh yeah, they don't bother me.
And you built this house, correct? This is not a house
We
you
built this house, yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I
That
think
is
they
awesome.
are, like I said, attached to the land,
It has to be.
because they don't see me. And my little dog, she knows they're there, because she'll look over there and just stare, at times. She knows that, they're coming through again,
So that takes me back to thinking that in their world, maybe you're activating their lights.
Yeah.
It's wild to
Well,
think about. It's almost
yeah.
like you could take a bunch of acid and but that's what it's like. It seems to be how I look at it is we're in their world as one way and they're in our world as one way.
Yeah. These ones here, they're, as far as timestamp, they're, my best guess would be the mid 1800s
Oh, okay.
is the time period they're from. There's one farmer guy that he's in his probably mid 20s that I see. I actually drew pictures of him, but I didn't send them. And there's a couple that they are portraying themselves as high society, but they're not. They're trying to dress the part, and like the head up in the air, the high society, type people.
Snooty.
But I could feel that, they're just portraying themselves as such because they're not.
Very Jeffrey.
So,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
There's-
I've actually had light flashes like that happen at my parents' house with the ceiling fan.
what's interesting here is they built this house, so it definitely got to be coming from the
yeah,
land.
they're
Across the land.
attracted to me. The ghosts are attracted to me because I am sensitive.
When did you I'm sorry, Jerry.
No, go ahead.
When did you notice when did the lights start doing that? Have they always done it or
I've always felt things here, and I seen my grandfather. He would stand outside while we were building, watching us build.
yeah, that's still
I'd
your
seen him out there.
grandfather thing. That's
Yeah. But we were sitting in the back room. It has garage doors on it. We didn't finish it to a living room yet. But we were sitting back there and we were working on the place. And my dad was out there. And I think my mom might have been out there too. And I'm sitting there. We're sitting in chairs. And I hear gravel crunching. And my dad says, somebody's coming. And I like, I know. I hear him. But then nobody shows up. It was my grandfather walking up the driveway, coming up to check to see what's going on. But my father, he never talked about him, but he had abilities too. He never talked about it though. Yeah, he grew up in an age you don't say anything.
Right.
Yeah,
But he heard him walking up through there too. So
sounds like my
Wow.
grandfather. He wouldn't talk about anything, but I know he experienced some stuff.
yeah, you were telling me about that. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I told you this, BJ, but he was also a water witch.
Oh no,
Yeah,
you didn't tell me he was a dowser.
he was.
Yeah.
He always wore one of those crystals too.
Oh, that's my mom. She was commenting on the UFO, the daytime UFO.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what that comment's about.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's always
Yeah, she's
unnerving when you
86
hear
years
something.
young.
Nice.
Yep. And my grandmother is actually 80. She just turned 87.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
okay.
And my grandfather was 97 when he, or not 97, 93 when he passed last year.
Well, I'll be blessed if I get to keep my mom that long.
Yeah.
But
Okay, wagon wheel. Tell us about the wagon wheel. Now that I done screwed up and shared one of the 2 videos.
that's okay. No, just out of the blue, they'll just start going
We'll
off.
Play that
You
one.
know.
I'll load the first one again. And now that we can talk about it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just different lights go off at different times, and yeah, they flash, and sometimes I'll have shadows rolling across the ceiling, that kind of stuff. It's just basically a pretty active house.
Okay, so let me ask a question.
Yeah.
Have you ever changed the light bulb?
Yeah.
Enough said. Okay.
I thought about that. Yeah.
Did you ever check to see if maybe the wires were something was goofy with that?
Well, our house has-
It's different bulbs at different times. If it was, just like, okay, well, that wire is not good, but it's different bulbs at different times. And like the ceiling fan light, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Here's another video.
Yeah, I was sitting at my computer chair when that one started going off.
Now, is that the same light that was
It's
blinking?
the same
in the last-
wagon wheel, different bulbs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
I think previously, it's going to play. Previous video, I think it depends on the angle, but I think the other bulb that was blinking was over in this area.
Yeah.
I can't
This one here.
Mouse.
All right, Dogman, get off my lap.
Wow.
Yeah, the most impressive light blinking was in the bathroom, though.
Yeah, I was getting ready
Yeah.
to. I'm headed to
Harold.
this is the one that impressed me the most.
Yeah, this was his name was Harold. He got very aggressive with the lights, and when he started talking to me, it was kind of like time to go. So it was kind of creepy anyways, having a male spirit in the bathroom where you like use the facilities and shower, so yeah.
I'm going to
It
show
got
you.
a little too creepy.
I'm going to show the still picture first, the normal picture, if you will.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, because he manipulated the colors of the lights as well.
so this is the normal.
Those are, they're
Okay.
both white lights, exactly identical, the same.
We'll find it here in just a minute. Here we go. Now, see normal, just normal looking. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's Harold.
we're gonna watch that again. Watch this, Jeffrey.
That's crazy.
Is that crazy? You got Hanks in your house. You know that.
As long as it's not like the Amityville Horror when it starts talking.
But see how he manipulated the one to turn blue?
Yes, exactly. And how the other light dimmed
Yeah.
after if he's trying to converse or say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm right here. Come
Well,
talk to me," or whatever.
He learned to talk because I heard him say hello.
Oh,
And my cats and my little dog also heard him, and they're like, who's here? You know?
Yeah, we'll see it one more time. That's crazy.
And that's also a low wattage bulb in that.
Yeah.
That top one.
Amazing, man. That's amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. Neat.
He's the only one that really kind of unnerved me a little bit. Yeah,
You
he's
think?
getting a little aggressive and being in the bathroom. I mean, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's your privacy now, right?
Exactly.
You have a couple here. Oh. Paying attention to these batteries here real quick.
Oh, yeah. I set up a camera trap, the trail cam to try to catch pictures of the ghosts in my house. Didn't turn out so well. These are brand new batteries, just bought them. They don't expire until 2026. And this was back in December 12th, 2023. So they were brand new batteries and they didn't appreciate it. Apparently, I didn't ask permission to try to get pictures of them. And they blew up the batteries. That's battery acid coming out of all 4 batteries. And they burn up the camera itself, too.
Not just one battery, all 4.
All 4. And you can see the battery acid coming up out of there.
Yeah, that's a salt and battery.
Yeah.
There's
what I was trying to catch pictures of them with. I tried putting in fresh batteries in that. It won't even turn on. They just totally fried it too.
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard a couple stories about batteries exploding and stuff in people's recording equipment.
Yeah.
Cameras. DA actually had a parabolic, I think, that they were out. I want to say it was Joe Bald or Combs Ferry Jerry, and I think that was when the parabolic decided to fry the batteries for some reason.
Well, the electrical current, I mean, that's basically what is going on is electricity.
Yeah.
So,
well, you seen what they were doing to that 45-watt bulb?
Yeah.
And then compare it to what they did to the batteries?
Yeah, it didn't blow the bulb, but it sure did a number on the batteries.
Yeah.
So evidently Bigfoot in this world isn't the only one that don't like cameras.
Yep.
Interesting.
I just think there's a whole lot going on around us that we can't see. Some people can, apparently, but wow.
Yeah,
What
I probably should have asked permission before I did it. Like give me a sign if you don't want me to do this type deal. But I didn't ask permission. I just stuck it up there. So
it is your house.
Hey, test your
well,
boundaries.
yeah, it is, but
It's my house. Test the boundaries,
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then stay here and I'll leave.
Leanne,
How's that?
Leanne said Harold got mad. Absolutely. He wasn't happy.
Yep. Well, it didn't take, I did have to move Harold on, 'cause he was just it's too creepy and he was starting to get very aggressive with the lights. So I did move Harold on.
Okay. My next question is explain that.
What, moving Harold on?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Well, I basically went in the bathroom and I told him that only entities of the light are allowed to be in my house. Anything of the darkness or anything that is not of the light in any way has to leave. And I said that probably about 3 times. And basically I banished him and he moved on.
Wow.
The lights in the bathroom have not flickered since.
How about that? That's interesting.
You expressed your presence with authority. Good girl.
Yeah, I gave him the boot.
That's right.
Well, it's just like what you got to do with Bigfoot on your property. If things get out of hand. Scott Carpenter proved that with a rancher in Colorado, and it's effective.
Well, they don't bother me a bit here. They don't cause any ruckus. They don't, and that footprint that I showed you, it was at the end of my driveway, and that was maybe 50 feet from the house. So and then they gifted me afterwards. So, and I've heard the tree knocks and everything here.
What did they gift you? Okay, the crystal.
That crystal.
Crystal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that crystal.
The old soul crystal.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty ironic that, Darren had told me, asked me about having an old soul. And I was telling my friend Dawn, she's from out in Oklahoma, about it. And the next morning, that's when I found the old soul crystal quartz sitting on the ledge of my greenhouse.
Right.
Wow.
On the outside ledge. So it's like, that was quick. But I know they don't keep them in their pockets, Makes you kind of wonder where they get it from.
Yeah.
When they gift you stuff, unusual stuff at that.
I wonder how many people have actually had to rebuke Sasquatch from the property.
No,
Quite a few stories of it.
I've told them to leave me alone. I've never told them to leave.
See, I'm fine with them being here, as long as they don't cause any issue. I don't care.
As long as they're not yelling at you in the dark, it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably different.
Yeah.
I will say they're different from what we've heard between women and men. Men get one reaction, women get another reaction. So
I think there's good and bad and everything, just like people,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah. And I heard them again. It was on the night of May 31st when I seen that UFO, Jeff, that one I showed you.
Yeah.
It was right after I got done recording, and it left. UFO just like blinked out and left. Right after that, then I started hearing the Bigfoot vocalizations again, but they were further away. I tried to record them, but it was just too far away from my phone to pick them up. But it just seems strange because a lot of people are saying, I wonder if there's a connection between Bigfoot and UFOs. It just seemed really strange that, I was just looking at the UFO and recording and all that, and then the Bigfoot start up.
You seen a lot of orb activity?
I've seen orbs, but not a lot of activity, no.
When you
That's
see
one thing I
orbs,
don't see a lot. I've only seen them once, and that was it.
Okay. Well, the question I was going to say is if and when you seen them, when you saw them, did anything prior to or after, like a UFO being around or a big...
No, not really. No, I was outside again with my little dog. She's like my paranormal buddy, But I had her outside, and it felt really heavy that night. And so I brought her back in, and I went back out, and I took my phone out, and just for the heck of it, I just started doing the rapid fire shots in the air, and I captured a whole group of orbs that was right in front of me.
Okay.
So,
And Ken, that's crazy. A candle reignited.
Yeah.
that's cool.
This is one of the reasons why I don't let anybody play with Ouija boards around me.
Yeah, I'm not into them either. I don't want
That
anything to
mistake
do with
one
them.
time, and I'll
Uh-huh.
never do it again.
Yeah,
Not
I can
that
see them as
anything-
it is. Why would I deal with a Ouija board anyways? I don't want
Well,
to open more
I
doors.
I didn't believe in it. I didn't know. All right, what's a Ouija board? I didn't know at the time. So we're
I
all
know
goofing
friends that
around.
didn't believe in it until they saw it move. And they were like,
Done.
yeah, they were done.
But I'm sure they were done. So we all gathered around and we sat down on the floor in the room and started I didn't do any talking. I just joined in with where you put your hand on that piece. Well, you don't touch it. And that thing started moving. I don't remember what the questions were that were asked. I was out of Dodge. I said, that is insane. I made sure nobody was playing any games touching that piece.
Uh-huh.
Nobody was touching that piece. I got out. See ya.
That's my little paranormal buddy.
Dogman.
There you go.
Hey.
Little dog man. Look at that face. That's a happy face.
Yeah, she's over here pawing at me because she normally gets a treat at 9 o'clock, and she has a built-in time clock. She can wait.
That is Chad and Erica's show, the Oddcast podcast, off the record.
Oh, hey,
I have a feeling you may be on there in the near future. So
you got some interesting topics we would love to talk about. Yes.
definitely. And by the way, we're going to start now here. We got some questions coming in for you. By all means, if you have a question for BJ, go ahead and put it in caps for me, and I'm going to bring them in here, and we'll get started on those. I have one here.
I hope they're not tough ones.
You got this. You got this.
Have you experienced any lost time in any of your paranormal or whatever activity?
Not that I know of. We had just last week something unusual happened. My husband was down working somewhere doing scrap. We have a truck and a 20-foot trailer. Okay. And I was going down there. It's like 10 minutes away. I was going down to tell him, it's dinner time. We only go one way, totally. I went all the way over there. He wasn't there. I didn't see him anywhere. He came back at the same time. He didn't see me, period. We passed each other. How do you miss a big blue truck with a 20-foot trailer? So how do you miss each other?
Here's an important question. What brand truck are we talking about?
A big Dodge. Yeah. That would be hard to miss. How, it's like, is it a wrinkle in time, or is it,
That's a possibility. Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
the truck, you're familiar
like a crack
with
in the matrix or something,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go.
You can't, it's like 10 minutes away. How can you not see each other?
And like where you guys live, it wouldn't been like you took another road or something.
No. One way there, one way back, and we had to have passed each other, but we did not see each other. And when I was going out there, I only had one car behind me, and it pulled off. So most of the way, I was one car. And I passed a few other cars, but not my husband's truck.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know what's up with that.
Wow.
I love the whole glitch in the matrix thing. That's so
Yeah.
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, that was my first thought, was glitch in the matrix.
Phyllis,
What else could it be?
Ever had any night terrors?
No, not really. No. The
She's
way
not
I
afraid.
dream, I mean, like I said, my normal dreams are everybody else's nightmares. So
Yes.
night terrors really wouldn't play into anything for me.
Yeah. We're going to bring up
I
the
can
color
kind of
blue.
control. I do lucid dreams where I can control my dreams to a degree. Like if something's scary coming in there, I can divert it and go a different direction with my dreams.
That's
so
interesting. Okay. That's a special talent.
yeah, I think it comes with the remote viewing in the dreams, that you can manipulate them and stuff.
What
See,
color was the truck? Something about blue vehicles.
That was blue, or it is blue.
There is something about blue, especially with Bigfoot.
Must be blue in general, because think about if blue vehicles are the color blue, Bigfoot in blue, buildings with blue roofs. If we've, know what I'm talking about there.
Yes.
Research it if you don't. Okay, Jerry does. Thank you. I don't want to go into it, but maybe it's something with the color blue.
I have no idea about blue roofs, but my mom just got one put on.
Well, she's safe then.
Okay.
Yeah, I've found blue balloons when it comes to Bigfoot. I've found all sorts, and several people have found those blue Mylar balloons.
Wow.
Good one, Patrick.
I got one out here in the shed that I got when I went out with over at the peninsula. And there's been several places where people have found that blue balloons and stuff.
Well, my latest UFO I showed you, Jeff, remember how it had that blue look to it?
Yeah.
And then I heard the Bigfoot right after it.
Huh.
So I don't know.
Sleep paralysis.
No.
Again, you can alter your dreams. So
Chad's had sleep paralysis.
Uh-huh.
yeah. Why don't you? That's not a real long story. I don't want to take time away from BJ. Why don't you just
That's fine.
elaborate on that?
Yeah.
She
I'd
might
like
be
to hear
interested in hearing that, Chad.
Yeah. So we went to
Okay,
bed.
I'm just kidding.
We went to bed that night, and I can remember, when you sleep on your back, you have more vivid dreams. That's what I've heard. That's what I've read. I'm a side sleeper normally, but that night I fell asleep, and I can remember waking up. I thought I was waking up, and there was a pressure on my right shoulder that slid across to my chest and then pushed down on my chest. And I remember trying to lift my arms, and I could not lift my arms. Well, apparently my wife had woken up and said that I was labored in my breathing and tried to wake me up. So she says, as she's waking me up, I'm on my back and I could feel, and I don't know if she's waking me up. This is all I can say, is that the pressure that was here was sliding off the right side of my shoulder. And at a certain point, I could lift my left arm. I reached across, and when I did this, I actually grabbed fingers. Now she's asleep on me on this side, or next to me on this side, and I could feel fingers pulling out of my hand. And that was, then she said I could breathe fine. I woke up. She asked me if I was okay. I was like, kind of like just freaking out a little bit. But it was later in the day or in the morning when I woke up. I said, I felt like somebody was putting their hands on my chest and I could not move at all. So I associated it first with a dream, but then she told me she was trying to wake me up, and everything associated with the pressure leaving my chest and me grabbing the fingers. So that really tripped me out with that sleep paralysis thing.
Yeah, that'd be freaky.
I started reading about it afterwards, and I was like, wow, I'm the guy that doubts everything. But I couldn't doubt that because I know what I felt, and I know what the fact that there were fingers in my hand as I pulled away, and she's on this side of me, and she's got Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. So I know it wasn't her. Sorry, honey.
She's got some muscles.
Oh, she's a beast there. So yeah, but yeah. So that was the sleep paralysis I had, and that made me really believe that there's something going on with you while you sleep in your dreams, like you talk about. That I feel there's another dimension that we go into. There's a realm that we,
Yes,
in our mental state, that we cross into or have the ability to cross into.
And there's a lot of people in chat that are saying they've had that paralysis.
yeah.
And it's a trippy feeling. It really is. Now, the fact that she hasn't had one, but she has the dreams she has, that's even more trippier to me.
I've had some crazy dreams, but I've never had that.
Yeah.
Fighting aliens and all that stuff.
I've had dreams where I've woken up and thought they were real, but I never had the sleep paralysis.
Yes.
BJ, have you
Do you
ever
dream in
seen,
color? Do you dream in color? Vivid colors and stuff? Okay. See, I dream in vivid colors too. Everything's real.
Do you really?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I know vivid, but I dream in color. Yeah.
Yeah.
I dream in stereo.
Mine's very detailed and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I wish I could remember every dream I have. I mean, I only remember the ones that affect me, as in thinking it's real or whatever. But
She thinks it's funny. Sorry to interrupt you. This one snuck in on me. And made this noise next to me. I about went through the ceiling. It's not funny, lady. But thank you for my dessert. She got me.
Ken said he had one that was pinning him down, and he scream woke him up.
I've heard those before. I've heard a lot of those stories or experiences. I say stories, experiences.
I was woke up one morning by it was like metal clanking and
Oh,
jiggling. And I was upstairs. I was in bed. I was woke up by that. And next thing I know, it stops. And then I hear this male voice saying, ma'am. And here I had a ghost carriage in my bedroom. And it was the metal on the horse, how they have the horses hooked up. That's what I was hearing, the metal clanging back and forth. And it was a ghost porter that was wanting me to get on this ghost carriage. And it's like, no way. Nope.
yeah. Wow. Huh.
It was kind of cool, but
No, it's not. That's horrible. That's crazy.
This is what normally happens to me. It's just, I've been this way my whole life. So I thought it was kind of cool.
Okay.
It's not that funny, Chad. It scared the shit out of me. Oh my Lord, I lost probably 5 years of my life there. You got some interesting comments here.
Yeah, I think
everybody got a good
lot
laugh.
on what you eat before you go to bed too.
Yeah.
I have 2 cups of ice cold black coffee every night before I go to bed. It helps me sleep.
Which
Coffee helps you
normally
sleep.
keep most people awake.
If you're a person that caffeine doesn't bother, there's chemical in coffee that actually boosts the serotonin levels, which helps you relax and it helps your mind to settle. Because my mind just runs constantly,
Yeah, me too.
all the time, and it will help calm my brain down so I can actually sleep. If I drink 2 cups of cold coffee before I go to bed.
Yeah, I should start doing that.
Yoder,
My
this
wife-
is interesting because this is usually 2 o'clock in the morning for me. Now, sometimes that happens. I think that now, hurry up! It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to get up yet.
Oh, there's Greg House. House is in the house.
And he's surprised you're awake.
Yeah, caffeine doesn't really keep me awake like it used to.
See, it
That's what
doesn't bother me. Don't bother me.
Yeah, Erica said she used to be able to drink coffee all the time. It never bothered her sleeping wise.
I can
Not
drink
yet,
coffee
Art.
and go to bed right afterwards. It's never. It's weird that I can sleep on coffee.
I can. I can. Yeah.
Really? I'm glad. Oof. I'm glad
Sipping-
Erica.
It's not decaf either.
If I put
Not
creamer
decaf.
in my coffee, that's a different situation because of all the sugars and stuff in the creamers.
I don't put any.
Then it
sugar
bothers
in.
me. But just coffee? Nope, don't bother me.
I gave up putting sugar and cream in my coffee a long time ago.
Oh, see, my mom, she dreams in color also.
Wow.
I think most of my dreams are usually color. I don't think they're like black and white or anything like that.
Mhm. Yeah, I never dream in black and white. They're always color, and even the remote, viewing dreams I have, they're all in bright colors too.
Wow, Pine Knot. That's horrible.
He bit his wife thinking it was a burger.
Wow.
Still has a scar on her arm from it.
There's a lot of color dreamers here. Look at here.
Doing that.
My
I honestly don't know if I dream in color, but I don't think I do. I think it just, I don't know.
Well, next
I
time,
wasn't
pay
just-
attention.
I wasn't just dreaming, but I
I
seen
wish it
more.
was that easy.
my friend accidentally punched his wife in his sleep one night because he thought that it was some guy at a bar hitting on her. And he said about the time he woke up, his hand was connecting with the side of her head.
That's what I told my ex-wife too.
They're still married.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
It probably shouldn't be, but that's her fault, not his.
All right, that's another show now.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't imagine biting my wife in my sleep.
It's lucky she
No.
didn't haul off and hit him.
I have an ex-wife, so
Don't we all?
Yeah.
I don't.
Except for BJ.
I don't have an ex-wife.
Good job, BJ.
Any questions, folks? Get them up here.
I talk in my sleep.
You talk all the time, Jeff.
I'm such a light sleeper. I can sleep in a vehicle and somebody can ask me a question and I can answer them.
I can't.
Yoder. Oh, she hit me. Never happened again. That's hilarious.
I'm a very light sleeper. I love that about me, but I wish I could sleep.
My husband says I'm such a light sleeper. I can hear a mouse fart in the next room over.
What was that?
That's pretty light sleeper.
I hear everything.
Well, we know Jeff snores, don't we? We know Jeff snores.
Yeah.
We've heard it live, so more than once.
There have been several people on our video chats at night that I fall asleep. I slept through a Bigfoot slapping Greg's propane tank.
Well, at least you didn't fall asleep tonight.
Yep.
Apparently, I remind Catherine of her husband when he gets sleepy.
My husband's still at my mom's house because if he wasn't home here before we all came on, he wasn't allowed in the house. He'd have to come in the house from behind me and he'd screw up everything trying to keep. He's like a bull in a china shop. And
I got you.
It wouldn't be pretty.
Yeah, Robert, the night is young, yes.
It is for me because I'm normally up until at least 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my
goodness.
Not me.
You sound like
I'm a
some
night
of our
owl.
friends in the chat room.
What's
I
that?
think I was on the phone with Ken and Greg and them the other morning. Flat Rock was eating watermelon while he was talking to us, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
And Jeff, what time do you get up to go, not to work, but to work on the farm?
Well, it depends on if I'm milking, I'll be up around 4:30. If I'm going out to take care of cows or something, I'll be up around 6.
So to go to bed at 3 or 4, you realize that's like 2 hours, 3 hours tops.
Yeah.
Okay. Just, all right.
I don't do
He's
it a
still
lot
young.
anymore, but I
He's
still
still
do
young.
it
Still
occasionally.
young.
When I get a wild hair up my butt.
Yeah, for the question there,
Yes,
it's just natural. I have no formal training or anything. It's just something I do.
Yeah, I know a few people that do that. Jessica Jones is one of them, but there's not a whole lot of people that I can think of that do the remote viewing. I think I think you're pretty much born with that or you're not.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely a proven thing.
Yeah, I think it's part of being a sensitive for me. I don't know.
The CIA let us know that that's real. So, and now that everybody's coming out with that they can do it, that's what's crazy.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend one day. I was in a bad mood because our toilet sometimes has an issue. It was clean water, totally clean water from out the back of the tank, and it just came out all over the floor. So I was cleaning that all up. I was in a bad mood, and then a friend of mine, he sent a message and said, "How's your day going?" So then I filled him in what was all going on, and then next thing I know, somebody off to my left, he says, "I like the meat," and I'm like, it didn't sound like one of mine. Yeah. So I asked him, what are you doing? And he says that he has a brisket in the smoker. So it turned out to be one of his family members. And I ended up doing a remote reading from here in PA, clear out Midwest.
Oh, wow.
His family kept coming through and I was giving them messages and all that kind of stuff. It's the first time I ever did that kind of remote reading too. And everything was on key, and while we were talking, I didn't know he did it. Until he did it, he turned on the ghost box, the voice box, and he heard his father's voice come over and said his name. So that was pretty cool.
Yes,
Now,
that
Kinda
there were some
clarified
questions in
everything.
here that people are asking. How does that remote viewing work? Does it just come to you, or is it?
Yeah, it just comes to me.
So it's not
How do
something
you
like
go
you're
about like looking into it?
No, it just, I don't go looking for it. It just, if it presents itself, then, I go with it.
so it's not like you're sitting in a dark room.
No,
Wow. Okay.
What's your husband think of all this crazy phenomenon?
he thinks it's kind of cool. I didn't even tell him about what I could do until, several years later, after we were married. Probably the last maybe
Surprise.
4 or 5 years that, he's actually, known that I actually do things and can see things, hear things.
She wrote him
Art,
in.
Art
And then,
says
yeah.
he's done it.
Who?
Art.
Oh, Art. Oh, wow.
Oh boy, little people.
Nope. I haven't
Well,
seen
yeah.
any.
You met Jeff, right? Sorry, Jeff.
I'm gonna have to start wearing like a little leprechaun outfit or something.
Oh, you should. St. Patty's Day. Do it.
Dye your beard green. That would put you in there, put you in the zone.
Very interesting stuff.
Paranormal Paul's in here now.
Oh, hi, Paul. Yeah, he's a good friend.
Okay. Cool.
I didn't know if he was going to make it tonight or not.
There's another group. I was telling Jeff a couple weeks ago. They're storm chasers, but they also have a paranormal channel. I got it wrote down somewhere. I don't know where it's at. I want to touch base with them. They're from Western. I forget where they're from. They're from down around south of Pittsburgh. I can't think. Somerset area. I be a little east of Somerset or of
Paranormal?
Pittsburgh.
Paranormal
Yeah.
group?
They have
Is
a
it
channel.
Naps?
What's
Naps?
that?
Naps?
I'm not.
Not Naps?
I gotta
Okay.
I gotta find the name, but I know they have a storm chasing channel as well. I think that's probably their main
Oh,
thing,
okay.
but
Yeah,
They also do.
Naps doesn't. They're just paranormal.
Yeah, they also do paranormal stuff too. So
Did you see Catherine's question there, Jerry?
I have allergies. If you see my nose going back and forth, it's allergies.
how long does it take you to write a book approximately?
Depends on the book. Basically, I usually give myself a year just to write it and then another year to get it cleaned up and, fill in details and that kind of stuff. But with my Dogman book, my Josiah Wolfe that I wrote, I was just driven. I mean, like big time driven. I had that book, the rough draft, all typed out within 3 weeks. That's all I did was sit in front of that computer because it was like that, whatever that was, it gave me the whole book.
Yeah.
Because when I dreamed it, I dreamed like I was watching a movie. So then I got up, when I got up, I started right in on it, wrote the synopsis, and then I spent 3 weeks and I had the whole book typed out. And then I had to go back through and obviously add all the fine details to it. And it turned out to be 300 and some pages.
And Paul's got a good question.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Be nice, Paul. From my dreams. Like I told them, my normal dreams are everybody else's nightmares.
See, my dreams always are like the oddest, craziest, don't make sense things to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
that's pretty cool that you have a dream.
Yeah,
that you could
a lot
write.
of mine are structured. Yeah, I dreamed one time. I don't know what I did, but I was actually in an electric chair and I was going to be electrocuted. And when they flipped the switch, I actually felt the electricity going through my body.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Patty Fry. That is correct. And I think I remember seeing your name in one of their chats when they were chasing here a couple weeks ago. I think I remember seeing your name. I think. Rings a bell. So, yep, that's them. That's the people. Yep.
Okay.
Their
Wow.
paranormal name's probably something else, their channel, but that's their storm chasing channel name. Do you have this? Do you have a lot of dreams over and over? Like a same dream or something extremely similar over and over?
Yeah, I had, well, the Dogman dream, I had 3 nights consecutively. That was one of my remote viewing dreams. And I had it for 3 nights, and on the 3rd night, there was 3 dogmen, and on the 3rd night, I would be standing out in my yard looking over the fence and looking at them. And on the 3rd night, the one dogman, he turned, he looked at me, bright blue eyes. He looked at me and said that he knows that I know they're there, and they know that I'm there as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and they were definitely looking for something, and I didn't know if maybe possibly looking for Bigfoot, because from what I've heard and stuff, they're not best buddies, but I don't know for sure.
Right.
But they were bipedal when I seen them, and they were sniffing and looking and hunched over. They were looking for something for sure. But the one, I think he was the leader of the pack, and
Yep.
he wanted to let me know that on that 3rd night that, yeah, they do know I'm there, and they know that I know that they're there as well. So,
Yep. Prayers for Justin Decker by all means, absolutely.
Now,
Yeah,
once
I have-
you did that, did you ever have dreams about the Dogman again after you wrote the book?
not dreams. I had the remote viewing. That was it.
In your
I didn't
dreams,
dream about them.
do you get like going along and or whatever, something happened, and then you just boom, you get lost? Just like everything just comes to an end, you're totally lost, and you're just like, you know what I mean? Does that happen to you?
As far as being, what do you mean by being totally lost?
Like there's no ending. Like you're just like stuff's going on and everything, and then boom,
And it just stops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how my remote dreams normally end. It's like you get to the point and it's okay, it's done. Like,
So is there a
shut the door.
particular meaning for that, or that's happening, or?
I think normally it's just like when what I'm there to see is done, it just stops.
Do you have the ability to have a dream and maybe wake up and continue your dream when you fall back to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have done that many times.
Yes.
Don wants to know if you've ever experienced past lives.
I know about one of my past lives. Like I said, I know what she looked like. I know general time period. I know what happened in her life, and all that. I know her name.
Okay.
Maisie Johnson was her name.
Thanks for catching that, Jeff, because chat's flying by and I miss them. So.
Yeah, Art's got a good one right here.
Yeah. Would you say that the 3rd time is the charm for having those remote view dreams, like people saying dreaming about something 3 times and it will come true?
Well, I dreamed about the Dogmen 3 times, but I haven't seen one in real life yet. So,
Except for whatever was looking over your fence.
yeah, but that was many years ago when I seen that.
Now, is that at this house?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
You ever do have like deja vu? I get that.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's
a
like
lot.
you go somewhere, it's like, I think I've been here. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then boom,
And it's
you
like
show up.
you'll imagine you're
Yeah,
doing
you can even
something and a
describe
few
this
days
stuff.
later.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happens, and you're like, I know that I dreamed about this
Mhm.
like several days ago, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
then I'm trying to run everything through my head.
Happens to me a lot driving.
It happens to me doing stuff around the farm here. Like,
Really? Yeah. That happens to me most of
I'll
the
dream
time.
about something that I got to work on, and then the next day that I hadn't even planned on working, and I'm in there doing. I'm like, the hell.
No, I can't tell about anybody else, and if they've had past lives or not. I can't do that.
I must have had a very adventurous past life because it's always like revolves around stuff that happened here, but it's like in different. This is gonna sound crazy, but it's like in a different time frame or different universe. Like I had a dream one time that there were dinosaurs on the farm. That was one, and I was in the barn office, and my only thought was, what size pew pew do I have that'll handle this situation? I've had aliens attack the farm. I've had all sorts of crazy stuff. It all happens right here. I'm pretty sure I had a dream one night about Dogmen attacking the livestock in the barn. And I woke up to all this god-awful ruckus of something just tearing animals apart. And I was getting ready to go see what I was going to do about it. And that was when it covered off, when I, went to my safe and then grabbed the flashlight. And as soon as I walked out towards the barn, that was when it stopped. And I woke up and I was like sweating.
All this, it's getting good here.
Art says I was probably a swashbuckler in a previous life.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I mean, it's crazy the kind of dreams you have. It's
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember most of them when I wake up, but if they're nothing that mean anything to me, I just, I don't bother remembering them past that.
I even had a biker game. I had a biker gang take over the farm. Yeah.
With all that firepower, and they took over your farm.
Oh, don't worry. The tactical midget came into play.
Tactical midget. Here we go. And it starts.
They stole some favorite items of mine, and I went and got them back. And
Oh goodness, Jeffrey.
He's sick of leprechauns
You
on
need
him.
help, son. You need help.
well, the funniest part of that whole dream was my brother shows up in the middle of it, just drives right up to the house getting shot at, and just like hops out of the car and just like walks across the yard like nothing happened. It was one of the craziest things I've ever. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? And he was completely fine.
Any more questions, folks? Come on. Getting close to the 2 hour mark. I'm getting tired.
And not about Jeffrey's dinosaurs.
Yeah, no more dinosaur questions, please.
See, Jerry, you thought it was only going to be an hour and a half.
Well, I know. It never.
We've been getting better about trying to keep it at the 2 hour.
Whoa. Where's Mary? Where is Mary?
Yeah, where is Mary? No Mary tonight?
I didn't
No,
see Mary in the chat.
Now we've conjured her. She might show up in the next couple minutes.
Find Yoder. Let me show you who the self-proclaimed tactical ninja is. Ready? Will the real one please stand up? Yes, you bet, Tammy. Great guest. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
She was worried
Thank
it
you.
wasn't going to be a good show, or maybe
And
I
I'm sure-
knew she was going to be a good show.
I'm sure BJ's got more for us too. So
Also, we have several guests. that's
There's
gonna be
several
coming
people we
back.
got to have back.
She'll definitely be one of them. No
Yeah.
doubt. But,
I just don't know if anybody thinks what I see, hear, and experience is interesting because I've been like this my whole life. So, it's like,
so there's more.
And BJ was all nervous about coming on. She's
BJ, I can tell you.
I didn't want to bore everybody.
Oh, trust
From
me,
a
you
guy
are not
that-
for this crowd.
The only things that I've had happen are fingerprints on my car, and my wife has had the shadow people, and she saw orbs. Your stuff is interesting, and we want to hear much more. So don't think that you're boring at all.
That shadow person I seen in Michael's, after I seen it, I was walking down the aisle, and one of the workers, she came walking up by me, and I told her they really need to learn how to control their ghosts here. And she looked at me like I had two heads and hurried up and walked away.
I have a question for you. Have you ever been to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania?
No,
That's what I was gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Never
also
been
do
there.
a show. We also do a show called Beards and Boogers, and there's going to be an upcoming episode of that, and it's just random whenever we decide to have one. It's usually an evening show, and it's usually on the weekends, so Friday through Sundays, one of those days. But we're getting ready to get some ladies together. Erica, my wife Cindy, and there's a couple others who are going to be bringing here. We would love to have you come in. It's going to be a ghost show. I'm going to turn the ladies loose and let them talk about mainly Gettysburg, because there is a ton of ghost stuff in Gettysburg. My wife's had
There's
some
a lot of-
experiences there,
Yeah.
and we have to try to get it. I got to contact each of you and try to make it all work. So
I've heard some of the best ghost stories I've ever heard of are out of Gettysburg.
yeah, some good stuff.
My hay truck driver.
I knew that story was coming.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
But I'll say that's an amazing story. So
I
It
think
is.
BJ would enjoy this.
He
So
makes up good stories, don't he?
he,
That's pretty good.
this guy normally doesn't deliver to us, but he was driving up here that day, and I got to talking to him while we were unloading, and he said, I asked him, you work out in it's called Getty Acres. They bail the battlefields. And he had left his truck parked out on by one of the fields that they do, and he was going back at night to get it to go home or go back over to the farm, and he got into his Ford Excursion, and he said he started up and he looked over and there was a Confederate officer in the passenger seat, sitting in the passenger seat of his truck. And I'm like, so what did you do? He's like, I started driving. And he's like, I tried talking to him, and as we're going down the road, he's still sitting there, and he's a full cavalry. He was a cavalry officer. He when he got back to the farm, the guy just kind of dissipated as they got closer and closer to the farm. And when he got home, he called one of his buddies that was a Civil War reenactor, and he asked him, he's like, hey, is there such and such road? Was there an encampment or anything there? And he said, give me a half an hour, I'll call you back. And he pulled it up and he calls him back. He goes, yeah, why? What happened? And he told him, he's like, well, you just gave a cavalry officer a ride.
wow.
And
Yeah.
the dude's a big, biker guy, tattoos. And he said that it was the creepiest thing that, that probably ever happened to him. And when he told me that story, I'm just sitting there like listening, going, I don't know what to say about this. It's like the craziest ghost story I probably ever heard.
Well,
Just
if you
imagine giving one a ride.
apparently he got
started-
tired of walking.
yeah, his ghost horse left him. Maybe I don't know.
There you go.
It reminds me of what was it, the song about giving Hank Sr. a ride? It's called The Ride.
Yeah.
Just a ghost in your passenger seat. I tell you, if I'm driving down the road and I see a ghost in my passenger seat, I'm pulling over and I'm getting the hell out of the truck.
It depends. I'm sorry, I'm jumpy. I hear a noise and I think she's trying to
Oh goodness,
creep in through
Jerry.
me. Yeah. You can't hear nothing with these on, these headphones. You can't tell I'm wearing them, but I got headphones on. That
Hey, if
goofy
I can
background
say,
thing.
I could
See?
say one thing. BJ, amazing guest. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't be shy about this
Thank you.
stuff. This is
Yeah.
your experiences are amazing. I love it. And part 2. We're gonna do a part 2, right, Jerry? Jerry?
Absolutely. You know that.
Absolutely.
And I will be in touch about. I'm thinking we're going to probably do it after Chad and Erica's show on a Sunday evening. I don't know what your Sundays are like, but I'm going to try to get everybody together. You know, on maybe a Sunday evening or whatever. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
And if I
I can rearrange my Sundays fairly easily. I'm a bass player in a group, and we normally practice on Sundays, but I can cancel a practice for that.
stand up or
No. Electric.
Oh,
awesome.
good deal.
Awesome. Bass players rock. Anyway, I don't play. I tried. I suck at it, so that's pretty cool.
I
was
used
never
to play
given,
guitar too, but then our group needed a bass player, so I switched over to bass.
so I thought it would be really cool because I grew up in the punk era, and I thought it'd be cool to play like a punk bass. I learned that I could scream and yell vocals, but I couldn't play the bass. So anyway, yeah. So bass players are cool. Love them. Cool.
I understand what you're saying about getting a mirror, but I have a problem staring into one of them too sometimes. Not because of me, just I don't know. Mirrors are creepy to me. So
There's a lot to a mirror.
Yeah,
I know they're creepy.
mirrors
to me.
can be doorways.
Absolutely.
I don't
And
have
I
too
can't
many
believe
here.
that you're seeing shadow people at Michael's and making everybody else.
So no, I'm not going to be getting a mirror. I have a few in here.
There's probably live shadow people if you go to Walmart in the middle of the night. I think I've seen a few sea creatures or something prowling around Walmart in the middle of the night. And
Yes, she is. She'll be a great addition to that little beards and boogers thing. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Hey, real quick, Jerry, before I forget, we do have a Sunday show this Sunday. We're having one podcast off the record, and we're going to do it on healthcare conspiracies. So if anybody wants to tune into that, could learn something, and we hope to learn something from you on healthcare and the crap that they're feeding us and all that stuff. So
Need to get back to
Tammy says
basics.
every Walmart.
absolutely. Yes,
Back to
BJ.
basics.
Yeah,
And that's one thing we'll be touching on, but I just wanted
God
to hit
gave
that.
us all the natural medicine that we were going to ever need, and over the centuries, everybody turned away from it.
Yep.
Got to go with this new modern medicine. You don't know what you're putting in your body.
Anyway,
Uh-huh.
I don't want to go down that road yet, but yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just wanted to talk about
I'm convinced that some of it's probably a placebo. It's probably not even a real.
some of it, but anyway, no, not here. This is Jerry.
Yeah, there's a lot that can be said about all that.
There is. There is.
It's our show.
That's right. Oh, our show.
You're a guest here. It's all four of us. It's our show. But yeah. Now you can elaborate on that stuff, Chad. I don't have a problem with that.
I'm just saying, we started out with lots of things out of our yard and weeds in the woods and tree stuff. Now we're way beyond that, and people are getting sicker and sicker. So
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff we'll be talking about.
Starts with a P and an H. Pharmaceutical
Yes.
companies.
Yep.
Leave it at that.
Oh, BJ, before we go, tell them about your wood burning.
Oh, well, I do vendor shows, craft shows, paranormal shows, and I do a lot of wood burning with Bigfoots and, all that kind of stuff.
This is one she did that I got the other weekend.
Oh, cool.
Let me
Very
grab one.
cool.
I'll show you. If my earbuds will let me go that far.
And this is a
If
personal
we'll show
favorite.
up.
Bud,
Yeah.
you just need to show up earlier, bud.
We got the Bigfoot bow
Oh,
hunter.
look at that.
This one is my favorite right here.
Those are awesome.
A girl at
Um,
Cindy's work
I don't
did
know
this for her in 2021.
I don't have anything I can hold up.
Kind of hard to see. I like to work color into my stuff too. And of course, I can't forget these guys.
Yeah. This
Oh, I love
this
that.
one, I like this one.
Hell, I'd tattoo that on me. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is the little chest that my kid keeps all of his coins and stuff in now.
Yeah, a little ring
nice.
box and stuff. And
Nice.
Yep. I do all kinds of different plaques and signs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my girlfriend already knew I was going to get the Bigfoot with the bow before I.
Yeah, she had them figured out before she had them called him over. He was over talking to the other Bigfoot people.
I was talking to the sign people buying stuff for my house, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Get over here." She's actually texting me right now.
Oh, okay. Tell her I said
Sorry.
hi.
Who's texting what?
My girlfriend.
I even got my little alien earrings in. I don't know if they've showed up or not.
I see it. Yep.
Yeah.
Grays. Oh yeah, the grays. I see the
Yep.
grays.
Bigfoot
Really?
Bud's in the house. How's Bigfoot Bud tonight?
Awesome.
Good stuff, man. We'll
Yes,
definitely have
sir.
you back. And
Please do. Please come back.
yeah, we'll be in touch about the Beards and Boogers Ghost Show. So
Okay. Yep. Yeah, my next show I have coming up is going to be with Bigfoot Michigan Rob. That's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
on. Yeah, it's going to be on July 8th, 9:00 Eastern time.
Oh,
Okay.
and before I don't think it's live, but tomorrow night I'm recording with Daniel Hamilton.
Okay.
about what?
Yep, Dan and I are going to do one tomorrow night. I don't think it's going to be live. I think he'll be airing it later, but that should be fun. Dan was an awesome guest.
They're all fun. Any show you can be on is
Popped
fun.
in here a little while ago. He was in Seattle. He was getting ready to get on a plane to come home. He was out there visiting some family. Yeah, I don't think we've had a bad guest.
I think
Glad I wasn't the
to-
first.
I'm so glad that people get to come on and share their experiences on all these different, especially this one, but on all these different shows, because I think a lot of people need to talk about it and want to talk about it. And I think that's awesome.
And we're not going to poke fun at you. We're going to listen to everything you have to say.
Yep.
We're not going to put you on the spot too bad, but we're going to ask you questions. And
we're working
might
on
be-
some. We got some more local.
we always want our guests to be comfortable
Yeah.
when they're on here. We always want
still
our
a
guests to be
newbie.
comfortable.
I'm still a newbie at going on these things.
Yeah.
You're my fourth interview. But
Wow.
the other ones, I have a YouTube channel. It's under the BJ LaPier, BJ Moore, author illustrator on YouTube.
Okay.
And all my book trailers are on there for my books. All my books are available on Amazon. And also under the playlist, this video is going to be there too. All the interviews and stuff, the other channels I was on, those videos are under the playlist.
Very
If
good.
anybody wants to check out any of the other
Yeah.
ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think somebody was putting your channel
Oh,
information in the chat
It was
earlier.
Gary Spikes. Gary was putting it up
Oh.
earlier.
Gary's
thanks, Gary.
Gary's on
Gary's-
ball, man.
Gary's always on.
Gary's a
Yeah,
nice guy. I really
Hillary-
like Gary.
Hillary does too. Hillary's been doing a lot of that now too.
Hillary's, yep.
I haven't
So-
figured out how to do it yet.
I think Erica can do it not fast though. I don't know if she can. I don't know. But she knows how to do it.
Okay. All right. We're 2 hours, 5 minutes. Thanks everybody for being here. Awesome guest.
Yes,
DJ,
thank
awesome.
you,
Thank
BJ.
you.
Well, we are going to have you back.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
For sure.
And-
And again, we'll be in
Hang out
touch for the,
backstage for a minute after we
Okay.
shut
Yeah,
this thing
yeah.
off.
definitely be in touch with you for the Beards and Boogers thing too. So, all right, chat. Thank you. Love y'all. appreciate all the support. And I really
Thanks for
didn't.
having me.
I was so busy watching the chat and stuff, I didn't really take a look at the counter up top, but I'm sure it was doing quite well there for a while, so because chat was flying.
Oh.
It's hard to keep up with
And
it.
we've
at
got
times.
some.
I
we're
wasn't seeing
lining-
chat at all, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty busy.
We're going to be lining up some local guests here soon. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We got some Maryland stuff coming. And it seems to be every other day. Bigfoot Society, he's here lately, has really been busy with Eastern Maryland. So, of course,
Yes.
we had the New Jersey folks on, and they did a lot of investigating down around the Pocomoke Forest area. And this is
Yeah.
where some of the stuff's coming from. And one incident is not far at all from my mother-in-law in Delaware. So, but it's in on Richardson Road, as a matter of fact, same last name as me. But I'm hoping to get in touch with that person, and we'll be having one. So
Cool.
We'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think,
BJ,
Jeffrey?
can't see it, but you're getting lots of compliments in chat. So
Yes,
Oh,
you are.
Thank you.
Yes, you
I
are.
hope I can go back and watch chat later.
Yeah. Yes, you can. Yep.
Okay.
It'll be available in there. Yep.
Yes. Thank you very much for coming on.
yeah, thanks.
Yes.
My girlfriend was very happy that we had you on.
Was she
I think it was
watching?
kind of her idea.
Well, her son got sick playing sports this week in the heat. For some reason, the stupid baseball coach decided it was a good idea to have baseball games in 100-degree weather. So he got sick last night, and
We went. When I went to school, we didn't have air conditioning, so in our schools. Here,
well, they were playing outside.
We have
Oh,
what's
so
called
did we.
windows.
Yeah.
Windows,
Hopefully, we got just a tiny little breeze come through them big old windows.
window fans. Yep.
Well, we
Well,
had these great big windows, but only the bottom little slithers would pop out.
Yeah,
That's
ours
the only
too.
air you could get through, you know.
Ours too.
But yeah, we still went outside. And
Unfortunately,
played,
kids or teenagers are not built like we were.
No.
It's a whole different generation, man.
Yep.
Right, Chad?
Yeah, absolutely.
You and I are within 9 months of one another.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you guys are the
Shut up.
you guys
Shut
are
up,
Jeff.
Shut up, Jeff. Damn kids.
Let's say Jeff could be our son,
I'm an
not
elder,
our son.
I'm an
Not
elder
yours and
millennial. I
my
was
son.
born in '89, so I'm right.
89.
I'm probably in the same age group that you two are, though.
I'll say,
Maybe.
Jeff, my son was born in 85. Excuse me, 95.
I was going to say 85. You got some explaining to do because that's when we graduated.
Yes.
I graduated in 82.
82.
Okay.
Yeah, you're close. Okay.
Yep.
Were you born in 82, Jeff?
I was born in '89.
He is a youngin.
I'll be 36 next month,
I don't remember 36.
July 6th.
Yeah, I can't remember. Hell, I can't remember 50, so it doesn't matter.
I quit counting at 29.
That a girl.
You just have a yearly installment, right, of your
Yeah.
29th birthday.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a bug in here. I'm going to get him. All right, folks. Next Tuesday, no guest, but we're gonna try to go live. I'm gonna be at the campground, so we're gonna try to go live and
Gary's gonna be down there in the Dogman territory.
see if I can get some more pictures with the old trail camps. So, let's see.
You'll have to send that to BJ so she can see that.
Maybe she can tell me something about it, huh?
And again,
Something
if I may,
something might come to her. Yeah, it might speak to her. Not picking on you. I'm being serious. Maybe it will. I'll send that over to you. Yep.
and before we get off here, if I may promote our show one more time, Sunday, 5:00 Central, podcast off the record.
Of course you can, brother.
Thank
Of
you.
course you can. Anytime. Uh-oh.
Barry thought I was gonna read to us tonight.
No, Barry. We tried that one time, Barry. Remember? No.
Todd said
a
his
good
oldest
idea.
daughter. Todd said his oldest daughter was born in '82.
Oh my goodness.
It's not a very far travel, Catherine. It's all of 15 minutes away. I can't go too far. I try not to go too far away, so I can get, in case something happens here, I can come back quick. So But okay, that's my go-to is Bigfoot Society. Absolutely, Patty. That's
And
the guy does
Bigfoot
a
in
hell of a job.
Bigfoot in Maryland's been posting stuff all week about Maryland and
Yes.
County.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's getting close to home too.
It's becoming more and more appropriate than it has been.
It's that long Southern goodbye.
I know. I'm like I'm from Alabama or something.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Good night, everyone.
As long as I got service and you three stick around, we'll
BJ, thank you
be
again.
backstage. Yep.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank
All right.
you.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.